What's up, everybody? It's your boy Sir Splash, and today I am remastering a video I previously had on my channel. It was about one of my favorite villains in all of comics and characters in general, Apocalypse, the mutant king slash leader slash the one who wants to see everyone evolve and become strong. Now, it's not that my old video was bad, it's just I had put it out at a time where my channel wasn't very popular, and it didn't get a lot of views. It didn't really get a lot of incoming, appreciation for the scaling. So I decided, you know what, some of my old videos that I thought were good, deleted them, and I'm like, I'll redo them in the future. This is one of those instances. So if you like videos like this, if you remember any of my old videos you want to see remastered or rescaled, I can do that. With that being said, we're going to break down just how strong Apocalypse is. So one of the things we need to understand about Apocalypse is he has some weird moments in comics where you can call it inconsistencies in power and fluctuation, or just fights in general. And there's actually a pretty good explanation for this. Apocalypse himself doesn't actually get involved in fights that much because he comes and poses his will as far as he'll make heralds to himself, the Four Horsemen. He'll try to see if mutant kind, if the earth, if they're evolving, if they are strong, because he doesn't believe the weak should survive. He strictly believes the strongest should be the ones to prosper. So a lot of times he doesn't even get involved in fights, doesn't want to fight. As a result, sometimes he gets caught slipping. However, when he does actually fight, when he does actually even care in the moment, he has quite impressive feats. First one we can talk about is him literally one-shotting Thor. This was a young, unworthy Thor. Now, initially, when I did my video, I thought this wasn't that impressive. It's a young, unworthy Thor. However, we do know young, unworthy Thor was actually able to scrap somewhat with Gorr the God Butcher, as well as he was able to even hurt Gorr. So his scaling isn't bad at all. He's a very capable fighter, very strong. He just doesn't have Mjolnir. Now, in this story, several thousand years ago, Apocalypse thinks he's an absolute joke. Thor had no chance of beating him. Thor felt he was like a massive threat to Asgard and himself. And Loki gave him a weapon with a blessing. He led him to the place where the blessing was. This blessing was actually made to combat the Celestials should they pull up. So Odin had a blessing stored away to help destroy the tech and the Celestials themselves. So that's what it took to even scratch Apocalypse armor. Now, Thor wasn't able to beat him, even with this massive weapon amp, but it's still, it just shows how crazy Apocalypse is. Same guy that could hurt Thor, Gorr, and he literally bit his eye out. I don't want to hear about, he didn't hurt him. And he could fight Gorr somewhat, just got absolutely throttled by Apocalypse. And if you don't know who Gorr is, Gorr the God Butcher was going around slaughtering pantheons upon pantheons of God, all types of gods. So yeah, he bullied Thor and should scale above Thor. High Evolutionary got enraged one time and blasted Apocalypse, and Apocalypse laughed at it. High Evolutionary, I also learned more about him, was able to fight Galactus. Now, Galactus was not at his peak, but the fact that he threw hands with Apocalypse and, it was a sustained fight is very impressive. It's actually stated that Apocalypse himself has killed a Celestial off panel. The legitimacy and the prep time behind it, we're not sure. Beast, I believe, was the one describing it, and he's not known to be a liar, but quite impressive that he could even pull off assassinating a Celestial, even if it was a dirty attack. He's drained an entire dimension of energy at once before. The reason behind this scaling is Cyclops derives his power, his lasers, from an actual dimension full of energy. He opens his eyes, which opens portals to that dimension. That's when the power comes out. and he completely drained his power where he couldn't even use it for a long amount of time. So in order for that to be possible, Apocalypse had to literally, in that moment or two, absorb at least a universe full of energy. He was able to mind hacks the living Monolith, who doesn't have that many feats, so I don't know how much you would take that into consideration. Once again, like I said, he one-shot Thor pretty casually with an eye blast. He has complete molecular control over his body, so he can do a lot of things. He can shapeshift, he can teleport, he can change his size, he can heal himself. He's like casually healed his delimbment. His celestial armor, which allows him to tank a multitude of hits, like I said, Unworthy Thor couldn't even put a chink in the armor. He can heal that as well pretty quickly. He has a lot of tech available to him that are celestial based, and another thing that makes him so dangerous is Apocalypse is wildly intelligent. One of the smartest characters in Marvel. He's been able to beat up on the Hulk and restrain him. He can alter his size if it's necessary against the foes he's fighting. He was able to easily keep up with Jean Grey in a mental battle. Jean Grey, even normal, scales to Professor X, who can fight mentally on every plane of existence at once. And Apocalypse easily beat her up. She needed help, actually. He can use multiple powers at once. He's not just limited to using one ability and then switching to another. He can juggle abilities and spam. He can disintegrate his foes with simple blasts. Durability wise, there is one feat where Black Bolt caught him slipping at some point and screamed him away. However, that's not consistent, and there's actually been a time where Apocalypse was flexing on everybody and told the X-Men and Inhumans, yo, I'm the GOAT, you need to recognize. They all pulled up on him, including Black Bolt, and it is stated, quote, Inhumans and X-Factor, we're all hitting him with everything we've got, powers and weapons, and it's without having the slightest effect. And what's crazy about this is, first, that directly states, even Black Bolt's going all out. Apocalypse was not using any of his skill. He wasn't even really fighting back, and he's noted to be very skilled combatant due to his wisdom and years doing the stuff he does. And he was not using any of this. He was just flexing on them, literally just standing there proving he could tank whatever they had and they were nothing to him. He can regen himself from just a single cell. If you don't completely erase Apocalypse, he will come back. You have to completely erase him on a molecular level, including just a single drop of blood. You better Lysol clean it up, because he will come back. He usually keeps an extra part of himself in his ship at all times, just in case he's compromised. At a moment's notice, even against advanced foes, he can alter his size, alter his physical makeup to change the course of the battle. He was actually able to fight a bloodlusted, going all out Cable and hold his own. I've gone over Cable scaling in my Cable vs. Booster Gold. Cable is not fodder at all. They should all at least scale to Jean Grey, Professor X levels of telepathy. He could teleport in battle, and the Phoenix Force that's inside in Avatar Phoenix with Jean Grey. I've also gone over the Phoenix Force before in a previous video. If you want to go watch that, I encourage you to watch it. Very, very fun video. But he was considered the very essence of evil by Phoenix and a representation of all bad things in existence. That's how Apocalypse was viewed, and Apocalypse was laughing at Phoenix while Phoenix was blasting him, clearly trying to get rid of him. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. That's some of the crazy feats Apocalypse has done. His scaling's all over the place. There's outerversal arguments if you want to get that crazy with it. I don't like outerversal scaling for stuff. It's overdone. Everybody's outerversal now. It's stupid. But He is inverse when trying one of the most dangerous characters in Marvel because of his tech, intelligence, and sheer power and versatility. I hope you guys enjoyed this remastering of my previous video. Make sure to go like and subscribe. It's been your boy Sir Splash, and I will see y'all later. Peace.